Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to Town Hall Heroes episode number 61. I'm Solid Jake, your host, and I'm joined by many beautiful nerds. And today we're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to do an interview with Mr. Fan here, who is actually a Cloud9 Vortex player, but he also played for Cal Berkeley in Heroes of the Dorm. We're going to be talking about Heroes of the Dorm in general as an event, what it means for the future of collegiate esports, and, of course, Heroes. Setting the stone with Heroes coming out soon, and of course we've got our esports update. But getting to the introductions, let us start with your fan. Why don't you introduce a little bit about yourself and your background in gaming?
Yeah, definitely. So obviously I am Cloud9 Vortex's fan. I play for Cloud9 Vortex on their Heroes of the Storm team. And more recently, I have also been playing in the Heroes of the Dorm tournament for Blizzard. And of course, I played for Team UC Berkeley for that. Prior to this, I actually played Dota for like 7 years or so. I was actually, in that original circle of Dota 1 players who played the original custom game, and like all my friends from back then are now like international winners and like semifinalists and stuff like that. And I decided not to go into that because my parents wanted me to, really focus on college. And that was like the greatest mistake of my life. But yeah. And other than that, I also played StarCraft 2 and was Grandmaster in Terran and Protoss. And now I'm playing Heroes. So, yeah.
Grandmaster with easy races.
Yeah, pretty easy
Wow.
races, I guess.
Just going to slide that one in
Good
there.
to see you, Jared. Real nice introduction.
All right, well, RIP Protoss players. We will definitely get to you a little bit more about just a full-on in-depth interview about you after the introductions. Kev, what's new with you, my friend?
I've got addicted to a new show called Daredevil. That show is amazing if you haven't watched it. So good. And I know one of the actors who gets beaten up in episode 8, and it was really weird to see like somebody I know and I've been friends with for a while get beaten up in a show and have like blood coming out of his mouth. And I was like, this is a really weird thing to look at. But other than that, a lot of fun stuff. Just a lot of Heroes going on. And yeah, I haven't really played anything else, so I think that's about it.
Kubus Maximus.
What did Kubus Maximus do over the week? Let's see. I'm trying to recall. Lots of Heroes of the Dorm. That was very exciting. We'll get to that in a little bit. Of course, I did watch at least the finals and some of the early rounds for DreamHack. Really cool stuff, too. Very different from NA. I think we'll talk about that a little bit as well. And I also moved my brother over the weekend. Heavy lifting. Oh, my gosh. Just the worst.
How heavy is he?
So heavy. So heavy. I see what you did there. Funny guy. Other than that, hero stuff. Yeah, casted yesterday. Fun stuff. Overall, good times. Good times.
Mr. Zoloff Eggleston.
Yeah, DreamHack this weekend. Watched that. Watched Heroes of the Dorm. That was really cool to see. It's amazing how you can go from no hype to like, holy cow, it's so much hype when you add a live audience to an event. We'll talk about that later though. We beat Complexity in the finals of Go for Heroes Sunday, so we took that, which was fun. We got a lot of cool stuff on the horizons. We released 2 videos this last week. Glaurung made a video about making late game comebacks and how to regain your composure in a match, and Arthlon made a vlog today about exposure, like individual player exposure and stuff like that. You guys can go check out those videos, but it's just been non-stop Heroes, man.
Okay, just got yelled at for a production thing real quick. Just gonna...
A little Sergeant Bomber Hammer going on over there.
His new girl, he is actually traded.
That's messed up.
She's got a nice ride, man. That's what you said.
That's a pretty nice ride. This is true.
Yo, don't tread
Whoa,
on her.
Jared, that is a really cool shirt you're wearing, man. Oh, yeah, it is, and it's on sale right now. If you look to the link below.
So as you can see,
worst salesman. It's like one of those bottom dollar car dealerships. Like, wow, look at this Chevrolet truck. I wish I could drive in it. Well, now you can.
well, just harping on what Jared said, if you're listening audibly, we have a new shirt which is available on Teespring at teespring.com/townhallheroes. The shirt is cool because it's just our logo, right? And it supports us, but it supports us it supports the community more than it supports us, because all of the proceeds made from this campaign of selling these shirts is actually going to be going into a bracket for a tournament, which will be figured out and announced at a later date. But we're going to take all that money, we're going to invest that in a tournament to give more opportunity, more money for the community, and the shades are going on.
Oh, I can't do it. Sorry, I was just interacting with Twitch chat over there.
No, it's very necessary. I enjoy it.
I love it. I love it. So, yes, if you're watching on YouTube, you can click right up there. If you're watching on Twitch, you can click below the stream. And if you're watching on iTunes, the URL is teespring.com/townhallheroes. Moving on, yes, Heroes of the Dorm. Got back there. I got to work on that production. That was my weekend, and working in a TV truck with ESPN executives standing behind you was a new experience. A new experience. It was really cool and fascinating to be a part of. High stress environment. I've worked in a lot of esports productions, but never anything like that. And that show, if that's anything of what's to come for Heroes, oh my goodness. Now, Fan, I was in a truck watching the show outside the venue. You were actually on stage. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I mean that was definitely like the most hype and best event I've ever been to in my life, honestly. And that's saying quite a lot. I mean, I also went to the finals of the Collegiate Star League a few years ago, and this event just completely outskilled it in every single way. It
You
was
won that,
absolutely
right?
insane.
Didn't Cal Berkeley win that?
Yeah, we also won that one, and that one was like $40,000 for first place. So it was like not a small tournament, but you know, this one completely blew it out of the water in just every single aspect.
Now,
and it was completely amazing.
just to get the history books in line, that was you, Suppi, and Panda Jigu. So 3 members of Cal Berkeley Heroes were on the CSL team, right?
Right.
Cool. Very cool. That's awesome. You guys have like declared yourselves the best collegiate school back to back now.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what was it like being on stage? How was that?
So yeah, watching it was amazing. Like, first of all, we weren't even the like first team to play, so we got to watch a little bit of ASU versus Boston College. And it was just like really hype, even from the perspective of someone watching it. I was kind of cheering for Boston College just because they were the underdogs and it would probably be easier to beat than ASU. So
Fair. I
yeah,
respect that.
I was just really amazed at how loud the crowd was. Like the energy in the crowd was like so hype. I ended up like shouting like crazy and almost blowing my voice out before our games even began because I was just cheering so much. But as far as playing on stage, that was yeah, it was really amazing too. I mean, it's exactly what you would imagine. You know, going on stage for a stage like that for the first time with all those people just right in front of you, and you know, you could see them right in front of you. You could see them cheering. You could hear like the floor and the stage vibrating whenever something happened. Yeah, it was just absolutely insane.
So I want to know if it affected you not having soundproof booths. You guys had fancy headsets and all, but did that booming crowd, like say you just died and the booming crowd just cheers from your hero getting blown up from an awesome play, does that affect you?
Well, so first of all, I'm pretty sure there was like a 1 or 2 minute delay, so I didn't know exactly why the floor or the crowd were cheering. But like at first, when I first went on the stage, like I was actually really nervous, and I'm not the type of person to get easily nervous. But honestly, like after we got into the games, yeah, it was pretty easy to just completely concentrate on the game. And after we got into the games, and especially in the final games where we really needed to concentrate, like I didn't even realize there was a crowd there after a while. I was just so focused in on the game.
What do you mean a 1 or 2 minute delay? I'm really
I was
confused
about
by
to
that.
ask about that too.
The stream had a delay. The live audience did not.
I mean, as far as I know, I don't know exactly how it worked, right? But like, say for the last game, ASU picked Vikings. So when we saw the Vikings get picked, you know, the crowd wasn't doing anything. But like maybe like a couple of minutes later, the crowd suddenly like erupted.
Oh, the draft.
So-
the draft was different. The
Yeah,
draft was
yeah.
different. The draft.
And
was,
when
yeah.
and when we were in the game, we were so focused, we didn't
Okay.
really concentrate.
So
So
the games were live,
yeah.
but the draft was the way that it had to be executed since we don't have in-game draft. Basically, there's about 6 people actually executing the draft between getting the monitors behind you, relaying the information, translating the code for other graphics on the screen. It was actually a very complex process. So, but that's a different story.
I think those were the same monitors they used at BlizzCon, yes?
They were same stage.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was about to say it looks pretty
I
similar.
love that stuff. That's really
That's a
cool
really nice
flair.
stage though. So
That's
I didn't
interesting
complain.
because I thought it was the exact same stage from BlizzCon.
Thanks, Jared.
What a guy! But they didn't have the light up stuff, right? They didn't-
Correct.
From what I could see. Okay.
It was smaller in width, so it didn't have the side monitors where it would say curse active or like show the Dragonite breathing fire. That was missing, and it did not change based on the objective being taken on the map. Jared, I'm sure you have lots of questions. Go.
Not really,
Kevin.
man. You've already asked all the important ones.
I think my question doesn't really stem so much at the finals, but I'm actually just kind of curious. Like, I guess because
Why
you
not?
guys already had the CSL teams together, you knew the other 2 people immediately could probably get into the Heroes of the Dorm, and then the other 2 that you had to find after that, you just kind of happened to find, or like how did you find your team for the college in general?
Yeah, so originally it was myself and Panda Jigu. We were both already playing Heroes of the Storm, so when the announcement came out, the 2 of us knew that we could do it. And then we really quickly contacted Conan, aka Suppy, and at that time, Suppy had never played Heroes before, but we knew that since he was a professional StarCraft 2 gamer, if he practiced enough, we knew that he already had the innate decision-making process, just the ability to tell which plays are good, which plays are bad. That's something that's really, really important, and we knew he had that. And the second thing was, we knew he could probably, with his StarCraft APM, of course, he would be able to make those clutch plays. He would be able to have the mechanics to press the right buttons whenever they were needed. So even though he never played at all, we decided to contact him and ask if he could play. And of course, he said yes. And as for the other 2 people, we pretty much just posted in our there's a club at Berkeley. It's like Esports at Berkeley Club. We posted in there, and we got 3 people who wanted to come and were interested. And ironically enough, I think we didn't have a bunch of tryouts or anything. The people on our team were really the only people that wanted to play or offered. So we just went with all of these people, and they're all pretty good. I mean, 2 of them had been playing Heroes a little bit before, and 1 of them never played Heroes at all. But yeah, that's how it came to be.
Nice.
So, I'm gonna be honest. When Mike Morheim came on stage and was like, "Now we're gonna pay for your guys' college tuition," I got a little choked up then because that's such a huge thing. That's so awesome. How does it feel knowing that your college is covered now by Blizzard?
Yeah, so it definitely feels absolutely amazing. Although the one caveat I would add to that is that most of us were juniors or seniors, so it's not full college tuition. I got some tweets about congrats at FanHots for winning $450,000. I'm like, whoa, let's slow down.
Not
there.
quite,
It
not
didn't win quite that much.
It's
but
still a lot of money.
yeah, it was definitely an absolutely huge amount of money, and yeah, it felt absolutely amazing. At that point, I think we were all still kind of caught up in the fact that we managed to win, and it was the final game was so incredibly stressful and tense for us that I think we were still caught up in just the fact that we were able to win that at that time.
So, 2 questions. 1, after round of 8, when you guys took out Washington, were you guys like, "Yep, we just did it"? Because a lot of people had hyped that up to be probably one of the the closest series, at least for you guys, and you guys were already slated to be one of the top teams in the group. So, all right, respond to that first.
Yeah, so when we beat Washington, we were definitely extremely relieved. Personally, I think everyone on our team thought that Washington was going to be the second best team in the event. I mean, they also had pro players, and they were practicing. I'm really good friends with some members of the Washington team, including Kawhi Rice, and we knew for a fact that they were practicing 6 to 9 hours every single day, preparing for us. They were practicing more than pro teams every single day, preparing for us. And like the thing for our team was like it was like right in the middle of midterms. Everyone had like work to do. I had to scrim like 4 to 5 hours a night with Cloud9, and like we just did not have time to play that much. So we only played like 1 or 2 hours a day. So it was really nerve-wracking going into that match. So after we defeated them, yeah, we were definitely very confident going in. And I mean, ultimately, even leading up to the finals, like the day before, like I don't know, like we played a lot of good teams in North America with the Berkeley team. Like we played against Tempo, we played against Cloud9s, we played against like a lot of high skill players just in the community. And like closer to the finals, we were winning like a lot of games, even against a really good competition. So we were very confident going in.
What's next for Cal Berkeley? Are you guys breaking up? You guys done? What's the deal? You guys gonna start
breaking up?
We gotta know.
Do we need to start playing some like the Green Day as we go?
I mean, I'm not certain for like everyone. Obviously, I'm still playing with Cloud9, and if this tournament pops up again, then you know, obviously, we're gonna try and play in it again. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but yeah, like some members on the team, like Panda Jiku and Zero, like they're definitely interested in looking to kind of, you know, play more in the competitive community and look for a team and all that. And yeah, I mean, obviously we can't really just form a team just with the 5 of us because I'm already in a team.
Yeah.
And Conan is a pro StarCraft player, and he's probably going to keep doing that. But yeah, all of us still play Heroes, and we still play with each other. And, you know, there's no, like, we're not planning to just leave forever and never play Heroes again or anything like that.
So,
So you're-
well, one sec. Look at this handsome nerd on screen. Sitting here right in the middle seat. Were you shot calling for the team?
Yeah, I was.
Okay. Makes sense. Continue.
Very good.
So
All right. Jared, go.
you're in the unique position to where you're on one of the best pro teams in North America, as well as you competed at the top level in this tournament. How bad is no bans
Oh.
for a competitive atmosphere?
No bias
So
in the question at all.
honestly, I didn't. Yeah, I don't like no bans. Like you saw in the finals, like they had some strategies which we knew they were gonna pull out like weeks in advance, but you know we were unable to do anything really to stop them. And particularly like their Sylvanas Viking strategy, like it's borderline broken even in like competitive play. And we knew they were gonna do it. We knew they could do it, and we tried our hardest to stop it by like first picking Sylvanas every game we could. But they still got a game in which they managed to get the strategy in. And even going back to like round of 8, like we knew Kawaii Rice was gonna play Asmodan, like he's been doing it a lot, and we knew what he was gonna do, but we couldn't stop it.
That was
so I wasn't.
that was a funky game, man. The triple
it was.
specialist.
Yeah, that was insane. I didn't know how effective it was gonna be. It was extremely effective, surprisingly so. But like on the other hand, it also benefited our team a lot because, like I said, we had like 2 or 3 players who were pretty new to the game. In some cases completely new to the game, and like we just didn't have time to like train or prepare like super special strategies for our team, and instead what I focused on and what I made Berkeley focus on was like, okay, here's the best heroes in the meta. Each of you play 2 of these until you're completely confident in your abilities on those 2 heroes, and then like no matter what strategy the other team pulls out, we're just gonna pull out this really strong composition that I know is solid in the meta, that I know you guys can play to perfection, and then we're just gonna beat them, whatever their strategy might be. So it helped us a lot as well because our hero pools were very, very limited.
Yeah.
Did you attempt to try to draft for those people on your team that had limited hero pools early? Did that affect the order in which you drafted heroes?
No. So I basically made them have like 2 to 3 heroes that they could play fairly well, and that's kind of like the mark where with no bans, if you can play 2 to 3 heroes, then they can't really like target you enough to force you off of all of your heroes. So at that point, we could just focus on kind of picking what the strongest heroes in the meta were at the time. So yeah.
Very
All right.
cool.
After round of 8, how much training did you guys do? What kind of training? You mentioned a little bit practicing with some of the pro teams, but were you looking for any specific strategies? What was? Just walk us through a little bit, like what your training regimens were looking like.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, we didn't have much time for actual gameplay. 1 to 2 hours a day was pretty much our maximum. But in terms of preparation, we were definitely very prepared going into the tournament. We had several people help us. We had kind of a coach, and his name was Rami, and his in-game name is Tsukima. He's a pretty high-rated player as well. And we also had someone from Berkeley called Kyle. Both of them were helping us a lot. We had these spreadsheets from Hotslogs and just like in BattleNet of the other teams of every team in the Final Four, and we had like 50 of their games. We recorded like what hero every person played every single game. We recorded what their best maps were, what their map percentages were, like which players played which two heroes, and we just had like all of this information, and we tried to get as much as we could down, and it was to the point where we could say like it influenced our like pick and draft phase in the semifinals and finals, because we were like, okay, this guy is their Jaina player, but he's also like their Illidan player, right? So if they because in this tournament you had to say who played what. You didn't just pick hero, you had to say who played it.
You announced it in the draft.
Yeah, so if they said like, so and so is playing Jaina, we knew that we didn't have to like, first pick Illidan or whatever, because that was also their Illidan player, so their options were out. So yeah, we were definitely extremely prepared going into the game in terms of game, like, just knowledge. Yeah.
Based on what you just said, did you guys take any consideration that perhaps other teams would be doing the same and or smurfing to avoid giving out this kind of information?
Yeah, I mean, smurfing is kind of hard. I mean, we knew that some teams could do it, but there's nothing we can do about that, really. Right. And they were all still playing games on their main accounts. And unless, they were literally just playing throwaway games every single game on their main accounts, then it was still valuable information. Right. And as for us, like I said, like we went in there with a composition that we've been playing the entire tournament. We knew the whole world would know what we played in the tournament. And yeah, we were just going to beat them with that composition anyways. So
yeah. Constantly just having that cookie cutter, tried and true,
yeah,
clutch ancestral heals. Suppy had that green finger of just,
green finger.
Fine. You're fine.
Interesting.
R. He has just a green R key, right?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
All Rhaegar does. It's just ancestral heals, that's it.
Much.
So moving forward, obviously, stepping a little bit out of Heroes of the Dorm, you're also part of Cloud9 Vortex. Now, I was actually privy to the post-event interview, so I know that most of your team actually isn't really planning on going full into Heroes right now, primarily just you and Panda Jigu. And we know that you're super involved with Cloud9. What are your aspirations there? Do you want to be a full-time pro gamer when you graduate? Like, what's the status with that?
Yeah, so definitely would like to be like a full-time pro gamer. I mean, as far as the thing with me goes, like my parents are like just the most, like stereotypical Asian parents you'll ever like meet in your life. Man, it's like an extreme case, because like my parents weren't like rich, like they were like the ultimate success story or something. Like they moved over here, they started like waitering like restaurants and stuff like that, and they eventually moved up to like working at universities and like getting like super high up there, working really good jobs, and they just like want me to have a job, period. And yeah, they're not very supportive. They're like extremely unsupportive of me in terms of gaming. So I mean, right now, like I do like school stuff and work stuff, and that kind of placates them to the point where I can do whatever I want with the rest of my time. But yeah, so with the rest of my time, I'm obviously doing Heroes of the Dorm, trying to compete with Cloud9 Vortex,
so
stuff like
after experiencing this, a stage, a national TV broadcast, a filled venue of booming fans cheering for you, and your parents were there, correct?
Oh, they actually weren't.
Oh, no passion.
Yeah.
They were aware of this, yes?
They were aware of this.
They watched it online, okay?
Like, yeah, Mom, I'm going to be on TV. Don't worry about it. Just do your thing.
Have they seen this?
I don't think they watched it, but they were aware that I went to it.
Do they know you won?
I'm gonna tell them that soon.
Excellent.
Were you like a 90s sitcom right now? What's going on?
You don't understand. Like, this is like super extreme case for my parents.
Okay.
Like last time when I won CSL, and we won like $5,400 per player was the split or whatever, and I told them, and they were like, okay, great. Like, now you would have done better just like studying with that time, and I was like, oh God, I feel so bad. So I'm kind of wary about telling them stuff too much, but yeah.
Okay, no. So
This one should be a
keep it
bit
on the
better.
BL. You're like, I just got a scholarship. Don't worry about where it came from. It's just, it's a thing.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get Panda Jigu's mom's number, and we're gonna give her number to your mother. And they're gonna talk because she was awesome. She rushed on stage, embraced him. That picture is like probably one of the best moments of the event.
Yeah, that was amazing. Like she wasn't supposed to be on stage, but
Oh,
she
no,
rushed
she
up
wasn't.
there anyways.
That's
And
awesome.
it was just awesome. Yeah.
You're proposing this phone call, and I can just see Fan getting nervous. He's like, we does not do that. Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, there's all right. So we got some split reactions from parents, but that's gonna be the case, right? Interesting.
Oh.
Very good. So Cloud9, last night.
Let's talk about some real teams now.
Okay.
Whoa.
Well,
that
moving
hurts.
into the professional leagues, not collegiate. Last week, you guys you kind of beat Tempo Storm, Zoya. Real teams, more real than you apparently, because they beat you. And look, you guys are looking great. Now, if we look back at last season, Cloud9 Vortex was actually disqualified due to too many roster changes. You guys made it through the qualification process for Season 2, and you guys are looking good. You look poised for that top 4. But obviously, you guys lost to your sister team. What are you going to do about it?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think just Maelstrom is extremely strong right now. Individually, player for player, I think they can just outmatch every other team in terms of just their mechanical power and also game knowledge. I think they have slightly more of it than most of the other teams right now. But, you know, the gaps between the teams, in my opinion, are closing fairly rapidly. So, you know, I don't know how much longer they'll be able to keep that up for.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow. I like it. I like it.
I
Kevo,
agree.
Zoya, Kubi, questions for Vortex related?
Oh, by the way, before we get full into the pro scene and everything, I forgot. I definitely need to get my you know, shout outs and thank yous to Temple Storm, like mainly because they were undoubtedly the team that like helped us so much in terms of just scrimming and preparing us for the finals. And I'm referring to the Berkeley team, of course. They were like the main team. They offered us like I think 3 scrim sets and like a bunch of team league games. And yeah, it was just, you know, we only had 1 to 2 hours a day to practice, and they made our practice count by offering us the best games possible. And also shout out to both Cloud9 teams who helped, and Not a Team, which was made up of a bunch of just really high level players like Rarjar, Contrarian, Vorg, Not a Fish, Kothan Luck, Chillatek. I'm sure there's a bunch more that I missed, but yeah, definitely a huge shout out to you guys, and you know, we are very grateful to what you did.
Community banding together. All right, I like it. Nicely done. All right, so we're hopping over to questions for Vortex.
Yeah, we're moving into. I think Dorm's wrapped up. If
all right,
there's
let's-
any final
I'm gonna-
thoughts on Dorm, let's get them out now.
Let's go.
All right,
Proceed.
I'm gonna
Proceed.
rustle the bush. Is that the phrase? Is that how that works?
Rustle the
tree.
bush.
No. What is it? Shake the tree. Shake the
Shake
tree.
the tree.
We're gonna shake the tree.
Yo,
What are your thoughts on sanctification? Let's hear it.
Oh,
Not
okay.
running it anymore. Tried it a few times. It worked out in scrims a couple times.
Jared, excuse me.
it's not for you.
This is not a question for you.
Oh, okay.
This is directed for Fan. Fan, please take it away.
Yeah, I mean, I think in its current state, like, it needs to be buffed a little in order to really be viable at the highest level. I've seen, like, plenty of teams try it, and it's, like, one of those things where it can be good, and, like, it's like Force Ball, where it can be good, but, like, it seems like no matter how you use it, even with some of the most talented people trying to make it work, it just doesn't really work, so
What if it works?
I don't think it's, like, viable at the top level without, like, some kind of buff material.
What if it worked as cast aside, and it cast aside everything within the entire circle?
Jake.
You mean like Emerald Wind?
I mean, that'd
It's
be
like,
a buff, I think.
maybe.
Work.
But different.
You could hear the confidence slipping out of his statement the more it went on. It's just like, yeah.
The cool thing about sanctification is that it essentially works like an AoE cleanse. Just suddenly no one's getting CC'd at all. It's not just the damage negation that's good. It's the fact that no stuns, no slows, everything gets removed. It's an AoE 3-second cleanse until it's interrupted. So there's a lot of potential there, but clearly from those games, like Fan says, needs a buff. Small one, because it's got potential. It's pretty good, but not quite as good enough.
I gotta say, in that series last week specifically, I was really impressed with Vortex's positioning. Seeing Bobby, I've talked about this point so many times already, but Bobby was playing Tychus on Cursed Hollow, and this was in the top center part of the map, and he hid in one of those random nooks that you typically only see like Stitches hook into. And that's the only time I've ever seen that spot on the map even used. Maybe a Nova player was hiding there and waiting, right? But that's it. And you just he popped that Odin, and he just strolled that out, and he's like, deal with it. Like, in that moment, the sunglasses just fell down and everything died, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. Like those plays definitely, I feel like, make our team one of the like more volatile teams in the scene. Like when we're playing on point and like in scrims, especially recently, I think we can be called like a top 2 or 3 team. It's just that, like for example, that play, right? Like the way it worked out was absolutely amazing, and we crushed we crushed the team fight with it. But if for whatever reason, like Temple like checked that bush and they found him before we were prepared, it could have gone completely the other way. And I think just like our team's play style, and I don't even know what it is, but like our team is a very volatile team. And when we're on point, I think we can contest like the number 2, maybe even the number 1 spot. But when we're not on point, we like lose to everyone. So hopefully we get more on point as we move on.
Do you feel like your point is melting, like some sort of level 4 talent?
Stop!
Oh God, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
No,
Wow.
no,
Thank you, fan.
Get him off our show. Kick him from the damn call. What the hell? What just happened? Don't encourage it.
Okay.
All right, I got a question. Well, we've sort of been hyping you guys up as the go-to team for early game aggression and early game strategies. How is it that you like? First of all, do you guys agree with that? Do you feel that's a good way to brand your team? And what is it that sort of led you guys to develop this strong early game, and not necessarily a week later game, but that's like where you guys seem to focus a lot of your drafts and how you play?
Yeah, so I mean, like, I feel like in Heroes, especially like more recently, it seems like whoever the team that gets the earlier advantage just is so much better for them. Like you can make mistakes, you can make a couple of mistakes before you're really behind. Whereas if you're the team that's like behind going into level 10 and stuff, like if you make one mistake, you're done. Like that game is over. So I think the playstyle kind of favors earlier game compositions right now. And also I think something about our rotations, maybe our mechanics, just like I feel like even when we have compositions that are fairly neutral to both teams, a lot of the time we end up kind of winning out in the early games. So that's just something that we kind of also discovered, and we've been kind of running with it because I don't know, it's something that just seems to happen, and more recently we've been kind of applying more picks and stuff towards that as well. But I'm not entirely sure why our team is usually a lot stronger in the early game than other teams.
It's just those compositions, just that confidence. I think confidence is a big part of it. We were talking about that last night. Just having confidence in your play and capitalizing on that against the enemy team can mean a lot. And that's something that I definitely see in your guys' play. You guys just feel you have that synergy. You have that in-sync vibe where one foot moves, the other foot follows. And I'd say the top 4 teams have it down well in NA, but that's about it. That's kind of the biggest thing that separates some of the other teams that are on that up and coming but not quite there yet is you're not one, right? You haven't become that Megazord of a team.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
I see Matt yelling in the chat about Tomb of the Spider Queen. If you guys want to talk about that and why it's your favorite map.
I mean, yeah, so when it first came out, like, we started screaming on it a lot. We didn't play, or we weren't, yeah, like you said, we were disqualified from ESL, like, last season
right,
due to the roster changes. So we weren't in, like, the playoffs, I believe it was, and every other, like, team that we were screaming against was, like, pretty much in the playoffs already. And I think for that playoffs, Tomb of the Spider Queen was not allowed to be played.
Right.
So it felt like for a while, like we were the only team that was just like, the new patch came out. We just wanted to consistently scrim on Tomb of the Spider Queen like all the time for like the entire day, and all the other top teams like didn't scrim on it at all because they were preparing for the playoffs. So we kind of got a head start, in my opinion, on that. And I wouldn't say like it's our favorite map. It's just rather like it's a map that we were very comfortable with, and we would never ban it out because we were comfortable with it, and it kind of just always ended up in our map pools, and that's perfectly fine with us.
Cool.
Very
I
cool.
think we saw you guys playing very early on that patch in the ESL monthly, and that was probably like the first set of competitive matches for NA that included both Sylvanas and the Tomb of the Spider Queen. And I think you guys won that, right? So, it just goes to show that having that in the early practice seems to have done wonders for you guys. Nice.
Final thoughts for Cloud9 Vortex, guys? All right, so I do want to turn back around to Dorm just very quickly. Now, we talked about you guys as an experience. I know, Jared, I know you're so excited. We're only a half hour into the show anyways. We're going pretty quick.
40 minutes.
All right, so we look at Dorm as an event, and we look at Dorm and we look back at BlizzCon, right? We're now talking about esports in general, but we're prefacing it with Dorm. BlizzCon, 4 teams, 4 brands invited last year for the finals. We had Fnatic, we had EG, we had Cloud9, and we had Liquid. And they were just organizations. They weren't teams. They were organizations. Those organizations then brought 5 members who happened to compete under banners, none of which are still together. Cloud9 at the time was, I think, the only real squad. No, Liquid was too at the time.
EG.
Moving forward.
Rip.
Everyone but Fnatic was a real squad at the time.
No one lasted after that. Maybe that's why it just doesn't feel like there were real squads, because all those teams exploded so quickly.
What?
They did.
What? EG was pretty
EG
much...
was around for like months before.
They swapped out like Keylax, so that was it. And, well, I think
Chill
stopped
Attack.
playing.
There were 2
okay,
members that
they had
left.
their 3.
Okay, they had 3. Irrelevant to my point. Dorm comes around, not really geared towards the competitive scene. Very great for collegiate, very great for outreach. It's the first ever esports game, not ever, but the first really notable esports event to be on TV. Now, just to quell the fires, yes, TI last year, their opening ceremony was on ESPN2, but not a single moment of gameplay was on TV. And back in the day on USA Network, MLG had Halo, but that was many, many, many years ago. I don't think anything had anywhere near the kind of buzz and social media presence as Heroes of the Dorm, and I'm sure you guys are up to date with all of that.
We gotta talk about that later.
No, we're going into that now.
Okay.
We're going into that now.
I have to say that watching Heroes of the Dorm and then just searching on Twitter for ESPN2 was quite possibly the greatest half hour of my life. Just the comedy, just raw comic talent. It was just flowing out of that. It was amazing. It's just so many upset people, and yeah, it was good. Fueled the fire for me for that evening.
They made stroking generalizations against nerds. I'm going to make a stroking generalization about a lot of the Twitter accounts that I saw that were like commenting, "Oh my god, nerds get locked in a locker." And it looked like the people, like, a good amount of them that I clicked on were the kind of people who didn't actually play the sports that they love to watch. They were the guys who sat there and played like fantasy leagues. And I was like, can you really call us the nerds? You're basically playing Dungeons and Dragons with like different numbers and actual names.
Kev, could you argue that in itself is a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Hypocritical.
Oh, incredibly.
It definitely is. So I guess what I'm trying to get across is that was good, that was great, that was huge, right? So we go from it's all been very controlled from Blizzard. The game's not publicly released, so that's what we expect their events to be, these very specific controlled environments. They had a very specific focus on TV, right? ESPN was what they wanted. The response was huge, right? It got tons of new eyes on. Like, I think 120,000 households tuned into it at some point in time. And that's more viewers than would see it normally, that's for sure. And that's cool, that's great, it's wonderful. But we get all this great press all over the place, but is it what we want for the future? Do we need TV? And this is definitely a bigger discussion than just Heroes. This is a little bit more broad for esports. But I think since it's such a close thing to our community right now, I think it's a good topic.
Do we need TV? No. Is it nice? Yes.
Why is it nice?
We got so much outreach there. There was threads popping up on the subreddit like, never seen this game before. Tell me what it's about. You know, there was actual, outside of like the raging, you know, people on ESPN, there were actual discussions about it on some other ESPN shows and stuff. Like, there's nothing bad about it when it comes to outreach.
Okay.
There are going to be haters.
There's nothing bad about it when it comes to outreach, but when we have the BlizzCon finals and the UI doesn't give us any of that information, like the minimap, like the talents, like all that stuff, is that what you want?
What?
Well, that's not what
just
you're
you,
asking.
Sleeve.
That's a completely different question. You need to
okay.
You need to angle this better, Jake, because those are two
maybe
completely
I
different.
do. Maybe I do.
Those are two completely different
but
questions.
This is, I guess, because I understand that's one of the things that comes with TV. The sacrifice you make for TV is restricted information in a lot of ways. And if that's a price to pay for outreach, is it worth it? I guess that's what I'm trying to convey.
This was an event directly catered for ESPN, which was fine. But BlizzCon, there's no way, like, if they were to be like, okay, we're doing BlizzCon, we're doing Twitch stream, plus it's going to be also broadcasted on ESPN. If they do the ESPN broadcast for Twitch, like they would have to do two separate broadcasts that way. But
if they couldn't, and you had to choose exposure with the one interface,
I would choose Twitch every time.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Why not both?
Why not both? Well,
why not both?
I mean,
like, Dota's TI had both a newbie stream as well as an advanced stream. So people who were like watching for what I guess the crowd of ESPN2 would have been could watch the newbie stream, or the newbie stream could be tailored for that.
That's a great point.
And then for, you know, Twitch and everything else, it could just be the advanced stream where we have the more in-depth UI, etc., with the more in-depth casters.
I honestly think going forward that it was a cool thing what they did, but not having a dedicated Twitch stream for the live event is hopefully does not become a theme for major events held by Blizzard for Heroes, because there were so many. The only way I was able to watch this event was through illegal rebroadcasts.
And you live in America.
I live in America.
Imagine being on the other side of the globe.
I honestly didn't even watch. I couldn't watch the finals live because
passion.
Well, the Twitch streams all got taken down pretty quickly, and I don't have ESPN2. And people offered it to me, and I was just like, it's just way too much trouble to try and watch something. So I just watched them when the YouTube VODs came up.
See how much he loves you, fan?
Ben, I supported you all the way until ESPN3 was like, nope, we're done. Now we're done.
I got you to the door. I just wanted to open it for you and push you.
And it's not so much it has to be Twitch or anything, and I guess it's like serving considering I'm on one of the, you know. But, you know, it's just somewhere where I can watch it for free. Or
I love how you're afraid to say MLG when there's a logo literally next to your name.
No, I just, you know, I didn't want to.
Thoughts of my own.
No, I want MLG. But
all right, I'm curious, fan. What is your perspective of this as a player?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not like, I'm more in that whole, you know, Twitch community, I guess, as a player, because I understand the game. I want more knowledge about it. But I mean, I think Blizzard's been pretty transparent about the way they approach this tournament. Like, they've repeatedly said that, you know, this was an exclusive thing with ESPN. It's not really catered towards Twitch. It's catered towards, you know, those people that you see on Twitter making all those crazy tweets now. And, like, even just last week, I think you guys had a developer on Town Hall, and he said that, you know, even for this tournament, if they wanted to, they could have two different feeds, one of, like, the computer the casters are seeing and one of the actual broadcast. So it sounds like there would be no problem whatsoever. And, you know, it sounds the only way that this would ever be a problem is if Blizzard, like, intentionally, you know, did this kind of thing for something like BlizzCon, which I think is just highly unlikely. You know, they've seemed pretty reasonable so far with everything that they've said and everything that they've done. And, you know, they've tried to make the best that they could out of this event. So, yeah, I really don't think there's too big of a problem, given how they've reacted so far.
And you brought up Matt Shimbari, who was on our show last week. I want to give him another shout out because he actually fractured his ankle at BlizzCon, so he was actually in a cast for the finals. I hope you heal well, my friend. I'm glad we got you on our show before you ripperonied yourself.
6 months in the future or the past?
What?
You said BlizzCon.
Oh. At,
Technicality!
Heroes of the Dormaroni.
Yes, that is unfortunate.
So,
Mr. Shimbari, Barry? Barry. Hope you're feeling better.
All right, moving forward into Heroes. We've seen this. We've seen what they did with BlizzCon. The game is finally going to be launching. What do you guys expect for Heroes Esports, and how much support do you think the game will get after what we've already seen them do?
We'll specify. What do you mean by support?
Like LCS.
Okay. In terms
TI, like one big BlizzCon each year. What are you guys thinking, and what would you like? So first, what do you guys expect based on what we've seen?
For tournament support from Blizzard.
Esports.
Well, considering the time frame, I think a lot of it has to do with the time frame. We weren't sure, of course, up until about a month ago, the release date of the game. I think a lot of us were expecting at some point an open beta, and then an open beta would last for a little while. Then they would go public with the game. But at this point, it looks like they're just going public, and it's at a fairly early date, June 2nd. Gives plenty of time for Blizzard to inject kind of support into if they wanted to run some kind of qualifier system to support BlizzCon. So I think the timing is good if we wanted to have a nice big ramp up for BlizzCon this year.
Fan?
Yeah, I mean, I already, I've heard through the grapevine that there's going to be, a few tournaments coming up. And I've seen, on Reddit, there's a page that says, for Heroes, or for StarCraft, it's, WCS, and for Hearthstone, it's, Worlds or whatever. And then there's a Heroes tab, and it said coming soon. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to have something for Heroes once it's released. And honestly, I'm not that worried about what they have. I think this game is going to grow pretty big just generically, or maybe that's not the right word, but I mean, I came from Dota, and a lot of my friends like Kawaii Rice and other people came from League, so we already came from different MOBAs, and I know from firsthand experience that we prefer this game over other games most of the time. So I think I'm fairly confident that a lot of other people will have that same experience, and yeah, I think it's going to grow a lot once it gets released.
Jared.
I really don't know. They've been really secretive. I always had these high hopes and ambitions that Blizzard's going to take the esports scene and just build it into something amazing, and then it's always just they always give the same answers we're going to let the community build themselves. They don't really show too much. They make these little comments in the competitive scene oh yeah, that was cool, look at this little video and stuff, but until I see them actually do something, keeping my expectations very low when it comes to esports and the launch.
I hear you're there, buddy.
Very, very low. I do not expect anything.
He wants to be surprised and happy when those expectations are
That's
exceeded.
the best. That's how we approach everything. I have no expectations.
That's a great attitude.
No, it's because then you're always content, right? Kevo.
You're only content only when things are going poorly.
Fact.
So, I mean, yeah, you're content, but you're content with the least amount that could possibly happen. I don't know, to me, it's just...
Hey, man.
For me, right now, I'm hoping that there's going to be some sort of major league that comes out of this. I really like LCS in a lot of ways. I don't know if I like the fact that LCS is run by the same people who make the game. I think is, my biggest concern. I liked WCS, but I feel like WCS is... I like all of the aspects of WCS, which is StarCraft 2's, except for the fact that it's really short seasons, and I don't think that's going to work for any other game. Even in WCS, it was just felt like it was always that there was a hashtag of finals, some sort of finals happening at all the times on WCS. I was just oh, there's the NA finals, and the World finals, then this finals, then that finals. There's always finals going on. That's what I really didn't like about WCS. But other than that, the way the point systems work in and out of the actual league, I thought that was really awesome, and I really hope that they kind of combine the two and make it so we can really drive storylines. Like that was the biggest thing about StarCraft Brood War was that they really drove storylines, and I think the seasons were about the same length, maybe a little longer than WCS's seasons. I might be wrong on that, but they like the storylines were huge in StarCraft Brood War, and I think that's just whatever the hell comes out of everything. I think we just need to emphasize those storylines. I think really because those are the things that drive the hype. That's
another.
the stuff.
That's a whole other thing. That's something that Korea just craps all over everyone else at. They are good at making celebrities. They're good at telling those stories. The Western world, we're so far behind in that regard, and that's not game specific. That's everything. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just like this is what I would love for Heroes basically. And I think that's one thing that we could all definitely work on is those storylines. And other than that, I mean, I don't really care who does it. I don't care if it's Blizzard, I don't care if it's freaking Frank out there in left field is going to come in and be like, "Here's a league for Heroes," and everybody like falls in love with it and jumps into it. I don't care who or how it gets done. I want to see something come out of this, but I don't know. I don't know where those cards are right now. That's all I have.
Jake?
Sia Steve said something nice in the chat. Just hope high, expect low. I have no idea. They've put a lot of money in. Heroes of the Dorm was a huge production. What did I say that's funny?
No, Jared made a silly face. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You got me.
Heroes of the Dorm was I've done MLGs. I've been part of BlizzCons. I've done ESLs, and that production was just it was like BlizzCon quality, concentrated and all focused into a very cohesive, really impressive stage. Wasn't the same scale of a BlizzCon where it's massive, but BlizzCon also has like that dead space just to handle all the mass part of people. But every corner was crammed with something awesome. They had part of the Hearthstone stage from BlizzCon with the Inn, and there were a bunch of Hearthstone stations. You could meet Hearthstone community managers and get cards. I can imagine them doing stuff like this with Overwatch stations and stuff, and the cross-marketing from all their games, because Heroes incorporates everything. So, like, I have this fantasy of them doing a circuit, right? A Heroes circuit where they do events like that, like 5 of them a year, right? They do one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, 2 in Asia, and 1 in Europe or something. Maybe 2 in Europe. Maybe make it even 6 in the year. Or maybe they do it more. Maybe they go to South America. They go to Canada. That'd be awesome, right? That's the fantasy, because they suddenly have all this cross-marketing available with all their games. And when I saw that little Hearthstone, like just a small Hearthstone world that just kind of fit into it, it's like they can just literally pull in 2 Hearthstone personalities to come hang out at this booth. Suddenly, that entire audience is going to flood to these events just to meet Crip and Trump. They want to meet those 2 guys. They have a massive reason to go to this event. But there's also a huge Heroes of the Storm competition that embodies all the other universe. So that's kind of my fantasy of what would be the coolest thing ever. Because I don't like leagues as much for a live thing. I think it's cool to have the online leagues and then this big, really satisfying weekend that's like 5 Super Bowls where this is like, hey, because we would do that with StarCraft, right? We would sit down and we'd watch that MLG all weekend. 3 days set aside to watch the event. And I like that ecosystem more than high production all the time. But everyone's got their preference. I think I ranted a lot.
A little.
Jake Grant.
A little.
Jake Grant.
But yeah, overall, we'll see where it goes. I mean, of course, we're going to be trying to drive as much as we can, and we'll go from there. We'll see what pops up, see if people get more interested. I'm just going to keep doing what I love doing. Zoya's being weird, and he's dancing.
Can
and now
we
I'm going into an
talk
accent.
about DreamHack?
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about DreamHack.
Let's talk about DreamHack. So,
Speaking of the
this is really cool. BlizzCon 2014. Blizzard invited 4 teams to Heroes of the Storm compete. Only at the time, only one of those 4 teams was an actual established team. Well, DreamHack did the same thing, where only one of those 4 teams was any good. How funny is that, guys?
Wow.
Oh, God.
Okay, whoa, back it up. You're making a blanket statement that Europe is trash now?
No, I was just making a joke.
Oh, okay. Man, I want to put you under the bus.
No, so all 4 teams were obviously very good teams, top 10 in the world. But Team Liquid, man, they're freaking monsters. They are so freaking good.
They run Hammer. They've got to be good, right? Can I pull a Jake right now?
Yeah, pull a Jake.
Can I just have my Jake moment where I made ridiculous claims 2 to 3 weeks ago about Hammer, and you guys were like, no, the nerf was too much. She lost too much HP. I'm like, but her kit's the same. If you just play better, she's still really good. Where she was being played every game. Like, no one's gonna run her. Boom, ran in the finals. 2 out of 3 games that she wins, and ESL NA Major League Season 2 100% win rate. Thanks, Jared. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay, so let's talk about that 100% win rate and ESL Season 2 Major League. Okay?
Yep.
Tempo Storm, number 2 team ranking in NA versus Wildfire, number 30-something worldwide. We could have busted out anything in one.
Snap. Okay.
Oh,
Still happened. I've got my statistics. I'm happy.
Fine, 100% win rate. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That just
Oh
happened.
my god. Okay, so shots fired at Wildfire, which is now known as
Shots
Stellar Lotus,
Wildfire.
and now
No.
on Jared's face because he fired those shots. Let's bring that up really quick before we continue with DreamHack's Jesse Cox, big YouTuber, invested in ESP Wildfire, a Heroes of the Storm team. This is very much like Total Biscuit with Axion Gaming and StarCraft, a YouTuber that can financially support a team. Very cool that someone has opted to go with heroes like this. I find it to be very exciting. And Jared, of course, being Jared, decides to bash them. But good for you.
Well, it's cool though that
No, it's good.
the idea of Stellar Lotus and what Jesse Cox did, put a team in a house. That is really cool. We don't have very many team houses yet.
He's just not going to talk about the players, apparently.
Well, they've shown they're dedicated to the game. That's something, right?
Thanks, Jared.
No, go ahead. Please continue.
They've been
I have
around
shovel.
for a
I can
while,
mail you a
right?
shovel. Would you like a shovel to be mailed to your house?
I mean, there are plenty of teams who have won tournaments, right? I don't know if Wildfire's one of them, but at least they've been around a while.
All right, so DreamHack.
Okay.
Let's talk about Team Liquid, because Bakery, when he came on our show, was talking about Team Liquid, one of the best teams out there, etc., etc. You were saying that they haven't had a chance to show themselves. They get DDoSed every other moment. In ESL majors, they've been doing okay, but even then, DreamHack came out, just destroyed everybody. Did anybody predict that happening? I thought, honestly, looking into that tournament, that they were going to be maybe 3rd, 4th.
Well, okay. Bakery was pretty upfront about how good Liquid was. When you come on, especially if we're pulling someone in from EU to come onto our show, like you think, okay, they're gonna be hyping their team up by quite a bit. But he was pretty, upfront about the fact, hey, Liquid is number 1 right now, and so yeah, like I want to be promoting my team right now, but I can't not give Liquid credit. So based on that, Bakery's a really good player, and he's very much involved in the EU scene, so I would take his word for it. And it didn't surprise me too much to see Liquid win that.
Now, Fan, you were really busy with Heroes of the Dorm. Did you manage to catch any of the DreamHack games?
Yeah, so I didn't actually catch any of the DreamHack games live, but like Kubi was saying, I did watch that town hall show where Bakery came on, and like just as a pro player myself, like I do not like admitting anyone is better than me, like ever. Like I absolutely hate it, and the fact that he was able to admit that, like it sounded like he admitted that Team Liquid was just like way above his team even.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just from that alone, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, man. Team Liquid's really good. They're scary. I can't wait for the first international competition because
I know.
it's going to be so sick.
I hope.
It's gonna
which
win.
regions.
I hope Stellar Lotus wins.
And me too. Upset of the century, man. Upset of the century.
Guys,
You can
stop.
cut the tension
Can we just
with a
stop?
knife.
Can we just not?
I just wanted to see what
Jeez.
Jared would say.
Somebody, give me
No,
your bullet.
but I
Give me your
honestly-
bullet.
Me and Kev
Picking your
were
gun.
just sitting there. I was like, we're just gonna let this ride. We'll just see what happens.
No, I actually think Stellar Lotus is going to ramp up so quickly. They're living together. That is a massive benefit. And these guys,
Four more living together.
are they all going to live together? It's only 4?
Kona is not moving into the house. He's a temporary sub for the team
I see.
because he's got that dream job at Google lined up for him.
Oh, really?
So he's a sub for now until I think in the blog, they said that he's a sub until Major League Season 2 ends, and then they will be getting a 5th permanent member.
I think we're going to be surprised with them. I really do. A lot of people were surprised to see them get picked up just because their results have not been there. That's no fluff. The results have not been there, but I think we're going to be surprised.
I hope so, man, because a team house gives these. I don't know too much about the team and their players, but I don't like. Who knows if they've even been giving it like the full, full-time try? Because in my experience, when I was watching Glorious Scrims to becoming coach of Tempest Storm, we have never had a block where we've even seen Wildfire play. Maybe it's just because of they've had jobs or other things and stuff. So maybe the fact that these players are giving them the full. You're in a team house. Your focus is heroes. Maybe that'll give them the push to,
I think it would
become a good team, and that's exciting.
And they've got a big chance to prove themselves that they actually were. We didn't mention this. They were brought into the ESL Major League. They did play you guys this past week. So back on the EU, back on track, as we derailed that for Stellar Lotus. I didn't catch the games, so I need you guys to kind of bring me into the loop. I was doing Heroes of the
A
Dorm
lot of
stuff.
hammer.
Yeah.
So much hammer. I was only able to tune in a little bit. I was actually casting Enter the Storm's qualifiers for the most part of the bottom half of DreamHack, so I didn't actually get to see too much. And then I think DreamHack ended on Sunday, right? Was it Saturday, Sunday?
Many events end on Sundays.
Sunday,
it's a
yeah.
good guess.
It was Sunday? Okay, yeah. So
500%.
Saturday night was my best friend's bachelor's party, so I didn't wake up Sunday.
Oh,
So I didn't get to see the end.
Good to see you back. Alive. All right, so finals. All right, actually, if I can even derail a little bit further, how do you guys feel about the format where the team that wins winner's bracket just has the 1-game advantage going to grand finals? Because that's how they had it set up.
we've done that before.
We have done it in the past, but not recently. It has usually been double elim.
If you're in- if
if
you're
we're
in a-
running double elim, it's the double bracket.
Strictly
Double
from a production logistical standpoint, if you are on a strict time slot, it is by far the best option. It's not the most unfair thing in the world when you think about it from all angles. And it's not optimal if you have more time, but I definitely think if your schedule restricts you, that's kind of what you have to do.
Anyone else have thoughts on that?
Really have a huge issue with it. I mean, it could either be you have to win 6 matches in a row, 6 matches in a row against the team, or I don't know. I didn't really find it to be that much of a huge advantage or disadvantage.
As if I were the team in the
Winners.
winners, I would prefer them having to play 2 sets. If I were the team in the losers, I would probably prefer them to play 2 sets. So I would rather have the 2 sets, but it's fine.
Wait, so you'd rather have 2 sets from the loser side?
Both sides,
Even-
yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're still going into a series down a game. That's tough.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no matter how you look at it, that's
There's
tough.
a lot of momentum with that. Even if the game's not actually played, being up 1-0 gives you a lot of confidence and momentum. And there's a huge confidence boost when you're coming from the losers bracket and you beat that team in the first best of 3 or best of 5 or whatever.
That's true.
And you're going into the second set, you have the momentum
Right?
going
That's
into that fresh set.
There's a
So-
lot of variables. It could be endurance. Maybe the other team has had the time to break, and they're going to be a little bit more on point
Yeah.
because of that. So it really depends. There's a lot of variables there.
Both ways are fine though, I think.
Yeah, I would
Fan?
agree.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if there's time constraints, then you can definitely do it that way. Like if there's not, then of course I would prefer double sets. But I think especially right now, like the skill level of the game, like the players, there's still like very distinct skill levels between teams and even between like a lot of players in general. So I feel like if you're the better team, like even if you came from like the losers bracket, like you're probably gonna win anyways. I think that's gonna change as time goes on. Like even from like 2 to 3 or like 4 months ago when I first started playing to now, like the skill level, general skill level of the players and teams have improved drastically. So I think that, with time, the gaps between teams are going to become very, very close. And at that point in time, might just want to always have the 2 full sets. But I think right now, like, yeah, the skill gaps in teams and players are big enough that I think if you're the better team, you're probably just going to win anyways.
So, Fan, Kubi, you're good on this topic?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. What's your experience with the European scene? Have you played on EU? Have you played against European teams at all, or have you been a little bit more contained to NA?
Yeah, as far as play goes, I haven't played against EU. I haven't really gone over there yet, but I mean, I have watched a fair amount of their games, and I mean, I've watched a lot of their games, and honestly, I think the very top end of NA might have a slight edge on the top end of EU, but I think overall EU has stronger teams, and I think China has better teams just overall than both regions. But yeah.
Ooh,
hold on, hold on.
You
Yeah,
can't just slip that in
Yes,
right at the end.
you have
there.
to speak on that. Let's make that a topic.
Yeah,
Let's
not
talk
only does Fan make that claim, he's the only one that makes it, by the way. He's always mouthing off about China. Explain yourself, sir.
Okay, maybe I'm outdated at this point, but like when I don't know, maybe like three months ago or 2 months ago, even when I was like first watching like the first leaked VODs of China, like their
Leaked
mechanics
VODs of China.
were. This was back when like Tempo Storm was like unbeatable, right? Like I think I was on Barrel Boys and we were just like every single Kings of the Storm was like second place, second place, second place, second place. Could not beat them ever. It was like infuriating.
Yeah, remember
but
those
yeah.
times? I remember those times too. Those have passed.
But back then, like I would watch Tempo and I would be like, yeah, these guys are really good, but I can see like plays where they can improve on. I can see their mistakes. And like back then, I watched like a leak VOD of China with their top teams. Like they have teams like multi-million-dollar teams from Dota and League, like EDG and like Newbie. These are teams that already have like international winners in like Dota
Right.
and League and everything. And like when I saw them play, like their mechanics were like just so incredibly on point. Like every single player on the top team that I saw there, like had mechanics just as good or better than the people who or the person that I think is the best player in North America, or even like the top 2, 3.
So
like,
I've watched.
It just seemed a lot better.
I've watched a fair amount of Asian VODs too, and I know you guys are all going to give me death glares for that. And they do
Share
some.
the damn bonds, Jake. First the Korean replays, now this.
What you doing with those VODs, Jake?
Where
Where they go, Jake?
Oh, I would like to clarify. This does not include Korea. I think Korea is below every
I think
other
Korea's
region.
below too. Are they still using Crazy Heroes? Like their hero pool is ridiculously diverse when I was watching. I haven't seen anything in a few months myself, but do they use Gazlo still?
I haven't seen any Gazlo in the recent. Are you talking about Korea or China?
China.
I haven't seen any Gazlo recently. I haven't kept up too much because of Heroes of the Dorm
Okay.
like very recently, but I mean they have a much more diverse
Yeah,
hero
they
pool
use
as far as
everyone
I
pretty
see.
much. I like
And
pretty sure
yeah.
I've seen every hero played competitive, from Raynor to Gazlo. It's weird.
yeah, and their comps, the way they build comps actually like make a lot of sense. Like even now in North America, like some teams just don't build comps that make sense, and it's like I don't know, yeah, they just I don't know. It seems like they're better, but it's hard to tell until the first land.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool if there was a LAN with China versus EU and NA? Wouldn't that be cool?
Well,
Fan?
this is a good
Wouldn't that
segue.
be-
This is a
Yeah,
good
that'd be
segue.
awesome.
So this is a little thing called WCA, and it's actually been happening over the last few weeks. It just started with Hearthstone last week. WCA is people that used to be WCG. WCG dispersed used to be like the Olympics. The Olympics,
The
if you will.
Olympics.
The esports Olympics in a lot of ways. And WCG is no longer a thing, but WCA is kind of it's
Now a
rebirth.
thing.
Right. Yeah. They're based out of China. Last year they had over $3 million in prizing through the entire process, and Heroes of the Storm is actually on their list of games. And you can actually see all this information. This is WCA-America.com, and all of this is coming really soon. You can actually see this prize pool for the Pro Qualifier. This is NA. This is WCA America. This is all the events: Crossfire, Dota, Heroes, and Hearthstone. And that's the big thing. But if this is the American qualifier, that means there's obviously going to be a build up for some more global stuff. So Zoya, you'll get your wishes. But if you go to Heroes, I mean, there's actually nothing. You go to Heroes and it's just 404. June 1st, open qualifiers, and then 404.
Oh.
404. Oh, look, rules. We have rules. That's the thing. Very cool. So, Zoya, soon.
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 Here we go, Grunty. coming back.
Grunty.
Anyways,
we'll see who's king at that point in time. That might very well be the
no,
first
that's a different tournament.
the first global event, unless DreamHack Summer, which I also have queued up, put them up there. That's in June. That's in 2 months.
Yeah.
So we can hope they decide to have Heroes there, because we know they had PGL involved at DreamHack. So there's obviously some form of interest. I just want it. Just need it. Esports updates.
We're playing in some EU tournament, guys.
What do you mean? Some EU tournament.
It's called
EU
Colossus.
Tell us more.
It's Colossus.
Oh no, we got invited to about a month ago and I forgot about it. Apparently Matt's been spamming me in chat to talk about it. Oh man, but apparently
Wait,
I guess
hold on. I need to clarify. What is your affiliation with Temple Storm right now? What is it?
coach and manager.
Oh, what is
What is
the
yeah?
I have the dates on the calendar that we play in this tournament. I didn't know the name of it, all right? I didn't know it was called the Colossus, okay? The email was sent
Colossus.
The email was sent to me in like French or something, so I had to like Google translate it to understand it. I was like, oh, okay, sure, we'll play in this tournament. It's got a nice prize pool.
How do I Google
Put it on the
Translate?
calendar.
It's a flashlight. I can't Google Translate it. Translate to English.
Put it on the calendar. We know it's that EU tournament coming up. It's in like 2-3 weeks. But
What is happening? The Colossus hand. It's growing. Casters. No one.
oh,
No one's
I didn't even know
casting.
they announced anything yet.
Oh.
I haven't.
Oh,
Is that
Who are these guys?
What's
is
going
that
on?
the guy from Aerosmith?
Oh,
wait, these are the casters for the Heroes tournament?
Whatever this event is.
Colossus?
I don't see a
I'm
Temple
gonna
Storm
only
logo.
call it Colossus now, by the way.
Team Liquid.
Colossus. It was emailed to me in French or some European language that's foreign to me.
Or some
European language. You can't. I don't.
it's okay.
We're playing
Jake
in
mixes
it.
the
We got
Hungarian and
invited
Spanish
about a
flag
month
together
ago.
anyway.
It's hype. We're playing in it.
Is it hype? You're like, huh? That thing? Oh yeah, it's on.
I
the
mean-
calendar.
It's on our calendar. I just didn't know what it was
This is their
called.
Heroes team. That's all I've been able to decipher, is that this is actually the Liquid Heroes team being talked about here.
I saw a Temple Storm logo someplace on that site.
Oh. I'm glad you're up to date. Bracket.
You gotta click on teams or something.
Equipa 1 and Equipa 2. Equipo.
Please. Jared.
We're the only.
What do you want from me?
What do you want from me? We're the only U.S. team invited. It's gonna be cool.
What is happening?
We've been
Jared.
shying away from EU for a while because the lag in the house is actually pretty bad.
So it's online.
Going to EU.
This is online?
It is online. It is online, unfortunately. But the last 2 EU events we played in from the house have not been friendly.
That's why you should have got an East Coast house.
I know. I regret it. I regret everything we've done.
Everything.
Wait, we got him on air saying that.
I
Recorded?
regret everything. Everything.
So
Yeah, there's that
so
event.
basically SK is confirmed, Liquid is confirmed. But I don't see any Tempo Storms. You might have jumped that announcement, man.
No, dude, I see it on my screen right now. I don't
Yeah,
know
see it
how I
on my
got there.
screen.
Yeah, fan sees it. Click Equipos. Click Equipos in the top left. Look, Tempo Storm in the bottom center. Do you see the Tempo Storm logo?
I see the Tempo Storm logo.
Well met.
Click.
I don't understand
Yo
what the
guys,
problem is here, boy.
Gamers 2 is American now.
You provide us endless entertainment. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I saw the Gamers 2 was American.
Gamers 2 is American now. That's good to know. So is well met. This is hype. We got 3 teams. We got this event.
I lied. We're not the only American team, but yeah, we got invited to that, and it's cool.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'm glad Jared is equipoed for this event.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh my. Equip.
Well, that's cool. I'm
How do you
excited.
pronounce it, Kevin? Speak Spanish for me. How would you say
Nah,
Equipos?
Kev, just let him suffer. It's fine.
Tempo
Moving on.
Stormo.
I don't know what to do with you people.
You people.
You people.
What do you mean, you people?
Colossus.
That's cool. I'm excited. That's a great list of teams to have for an event. Very high level play.
Did it say the price? I have the price pool in an email. I'll bring that up real quick, but it was a decent price pool
All right, these casters.
for an online event.
Vondalov. Let's pull these back up because I just realized you can click them. It's gonna be
Prize
cast by-
pool. I got the email right here. It's €1,000 plus the Colossus of the Nexus trophy, which would be really cool to get.
Do you guys know,
€1,000.
Just steal my Titan thing and go with synonyms of it.
Do you guys know any of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, they might
They're
have
probably
just been-
Spanish casters.
Yeah, they're
I
probably,
mean, yeah, obviously, but
so they probably do a lot of like rebroadcasting of
okay.
events and
Yeah, I don't know
So
enough.
we might not be familiar with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hate to be ignorant to the community, but I only watch English casts, honestly. So. It is the
Have
fact
you
of the
ever
matter.
watching? Wow,
Watch it, vloggers.
I went almost German. Have you ever watched Take TV? Take TV's German casts were like the best StarCraft casts that ever existed.
It's true. Good times. Exciting stuff.
Jared,
It's
what
okay.
was-
It's okay, Kev. It's okay. Just-
Open your mind, Jake. All right.
Open
Jake.
your mind.
All
What
right.
was the
Jake.
pricing again? I missed you.
That was €1,000 for first place.
Oh, that's what this is.
Yes, I assume so.
Anyway,
These weird
let's
Dragon
get to
Balls.
the next topic.
No, that's
Um,
cool. I'm excited. I didn't know about this event.
I just want to stop Jared before he starts saying any more words that aren't American.
Next month, Kev's launching Behemoth Arena.
It's English, Kev. We don't speak American.
Nah, we speak American.
Equipo.
Man, I don't know what you guys want from me.
Okay.
All right, so
Also, at DreamHack, there's only been ESL Major League recently, and that's all we really have on the horizon as well.
yeah, Dorm.
We have no
DreamHack.
nothing.
We had too much and now not enough.
We don't
Well,
have any-
what we
like-
have on the horizon is the launch event. We know the launch event is June 1st, and actually, but that's
What does that mean, Jake?
That is not. First of
What
all,
does that mean?
Horizon is like a week or two. All right, that is more than a month away, Jake.
true.
Wait, what's today's date?
Wait, I just made this really brash statement. What's the date again?
Yes, more than a month away, Jake. We have time. So that's not on the horizon.
Fantastic.
So May,
Zoya, I think you should equip yourself with a calendar.
May we have WCA. We just talked about that.
There's going to be another Titan Arena in May before launch.
Can
I
we
just
get
need to
a-
actually come up with a date because
Yeah, we need a Titan Arena because
there's going to be another one.
Kings is being discussed to come back. We've got our T-shirt campaign, which if you buy a Town Hall T-shirt, you support our prize pool for a special event that will
Yeah.
be announced at a later date. Maybe a Town Hall tournament?
Called Behemoth.
No.
which is something I've been pushing for a while. The
You
rest of
have.
us, we don't need to run a tournament.
No.
That's dumb.
credit to
we hate,
Jared.
We hate esports. That's what Jake said.
Yeah.
It's exactly what
he is
Jake
on
said.
record saying that. This is true.
Yeah, that's actually quite
It's straight up. There's not enough esports money in it. Not worth my time. That's what I said every single time.
Every single time.
Every time anyone
We,
has to.
not we hate esports, but I'm too esports for Town Hall. Too good for my own show that I'm part of.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
All
Noted.
right. All right.
Put that in Evernote.
Very good.
Fans gonna get invited to our event.
That's
Just fan.
awesome.
Just fan.
Just fan.
Man, that's
That's
what
me.
it's a vortex.
I'll be the only one. No problem.
Yeah.
I'll win that thing.
Ben, if
Box it.
if Cloud9 Vortex gets invited to an EU tournament, are you guys down to fly over to EU and take them on?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, why wouldn't we be?
There's a major problem with that, though, as Blizzard has not been willing to give out dummy accounts to the competitive scene for a while. Vortex, as far as I'm aware, does not have a fully unlocked EU account with the playable, which has been a problem for us several times going into tournaments where the meta shifted and we're like, oh, we run this hero now. Talent gated and not unlocked.
Is that a thing? Have they given you guys?
No, we've requested it before.
Oh, I see. So
Interesting.
you're requesting those like everything ungated type of
Yeah.
It's not just keys for over there. Okay.
I mean, I don't even think League of Legends did that kind of stuff until
LCS.
there was LCS. I think there's something.
I think they're just trying to say we're not really sure about Temple Storm yet. We don't want to just hand these accounts out.
Well, I
Really-
mean, every other team is breaking up like every other day, so I'm sure they don't want to just hand out to like anybody who claims
Yeah.
themselves as competitive nowadays.
I see.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they don't like, but it is a problem that there's a reason why EU team like only Tempo Storm and Complexity have really crossed this void. I guess Fnatic as well. Those are the only three teams that have done it. Not that they're afraid to go to these regions or like the lag's too bad. It's that we actually invested a lot of money into our accounts. Like hundreds of dollars getting the heroes we needed unlocked to play in these tournaments.
Right.
It's not easy grinding up these accounts. Like you can just farm the gold. No, it takes. You can farm like if you're a support player. Yeah, you can farm those. You can farm those heroes because there's even if all the supports were viable. And if you played Tyrande as a flex support, you'd have 6 supports to play. That's not hard to unlock because they're all cheap. But
Right.
for the flex assassins and stuff, that's 40 to 60,000 gold that you have to unlock. That's not an easy grind.
No.
And that's
You got that
that's
esports
why-
money. Just
Esports
buy all
money.
that stuff.
Those Amazon gift cards from King of the Storm. Hype.
Rip.
Any other esports updates in terms of meta events, stuff you want to talk about? More game specific, I guess we covered all the events.
I saw the event I cast this past weekend in EU. I saw a Nubarak bans, a Nubarak and Zeratul bans because it was Team Arthas. Apparently, this is standard against Team Arthas because they run 4 or 5 blood for blood all the time.
Oh, they do that, yeah.
I was sitting there and I saw a Nubarak ban. And I was like, "That's a bug. Wait a minute. Hold on. What?"
Stop.
And
That one's like recycled. Many
I know it's
times,
recycled a
Kevin.
billion times. I'm still gonna go for it. I don't care.
Yeah. All right.
It's the dad joke.
Okay. All right.
We talk roster changers. We never really talked about complexity and
Yeah.
the loss
so
of Urho and
Airho's
that
off.
debacle.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it for Titan Arena 3.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Oh, then never mind. We've talked about
What
it.
other big roster changes have happened lately? I don't think anything too major. Is
No.
Murloc Genius still around?
Yeah, they're around.
Yeah.
Okay.
CSC was bringing up in chat. He's bringing up the hero-specific bans that we saw last night. Vortex. You guys happened to ban this little guy named Tyrael?
Pretty big dude.
Yeah, against Tuark, who is known for running a lot of Tyrael. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, Tuark's a team that like has their favorite heroes, and Tyrael's definitely like one of the heroes that they've been playing like longer than any other team. And they were playing it back when every other team thought that like Tyrael kind of sucked, and like now I think it's switched to like teams know that Tyrael's not like awful, and like a lot of the top teams even use it sometimes. Occasionally, he has his place. And it's just one of those things where I think Tuark is really, really comfortable with him. They understand how to use him really well, i.e., not getting sanctification. But yeah, so they know how to use him pretty well, and it was good. It was a really good attempt at Tempo Storm. It was a good attempt. It's just that skill's not good enough. But yeah.
Yeah, and how did banning Tyrael go for you, fan? How did it go, fan?
Oh, wow,
Did you win
okay.
that shit?
All right. Well,
Wow.
to be fair, like we should have won that set. Like that was like totally in the bag ours. We had 7-0 kills. We had like a level 10 to level 9 death push with like knights and two or three waves of creeps on their
Yep.
top keep with a Sylvanas, so we could freeze their keep. So like if we just played patient and Kerrigan just kind of rotated around, like posing the threat for a combo and force them back, we would have 100% gotten their keep, level 10 to level 9, frozen keep. It was basically a level 9 to 10 fight whenever they wanted to take it. Like they can't win from that point. Like the way we played it was basically the only way we could have lost, and basically a few people like used their ults way too early, and like we accomplished absolutely nothing with our ults, couldn't catch anyone. And it actually like because we popped our ults, some people wanted to like overextend into the keep even though we were only level 10. So
Right.
like some people got poked down to the point where we lost the level 10 to level 9. We started losing heroes level 10 to level 9. So yeah, it was a disaster. And I mean that game was ours to throw, and like the one way we lost was literally the only way we could have lost from that point.
It was actually a heartbreaking loss. Like,
You guys were just dominating the early game. And then you
Yeah.
guys just AFK'd.
Wow.
Much. I mean, we should have won that game, but we did have like external circumstances. Like Bobby was playing on someone else's setup
I thought
because
you
the
were gonna,
game
for some
started.
reason, I thought you were gonna say he was playing with his feet, and I just thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah, I did see you almost missed being able to play. I think there was something about he almost didn't get there in time.
Oh, that's right.
That effect.
Yeah, so he
There
had
was-
to play from another place, and I think Zix was also like lagging a lot. So there were some external circumstances, but honestly, like even with those circumstances, like
The games
We
were
should have
amazing.
won.
The games were amazing. I kid
Yeah.
about the AFK mention. It was actually a very good series. In game 2, I got to give a lot of props to you because there were so many situations where there'd be 3 targets, and that wailing arrow would just snipe all 3 of them, and they would you just blow them
Sniper,
up.
sniper.
No, but it's from downtown. It would just be like this wailing arrow is gonna come from nowhere, and you are going to. It's gonna win the fight. Like tons of wailing arrows that flat out change fights. Strafe is popped. Poof. Nope. Bye. Bye. You're doing
Yeah.
nothing. Oh, Illidan? Oh, no. No. Go away. You're dead now.
yeah,
Convince
pretty
yourself.
much. I mean, game 2 they weren't focused on me too much, so like I got 2 arrows and like they just lost the game. But game 3 they were like super spread out after our intense throw, so yeah, they definitely noticed it in game 2. But yeah, those were pretty good arrows. I have to say myself.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I kind of game changed with those wailing arrows.
We were super stoked about. We were like, all right, they picked Illidan. Fans gonna show us Illidan? Nope. All right, he's playing Sylvanas. No matter. Lands all the skill shots anyway. Turns all the team fights around. Nice stuff. It's good. Fun.
Was that Cursed Hollow was game number 2?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good game.
That was a fun game.
But it was cool. It was cool to see you guys like bounce back because the first game was just like, okay,
They rolled
all right,
you.
2 arc with the super aggressive. Like we weren't expecting to see that out of them, and then you guys bounced back right away. Game number 2, just like, all right, no, we're still in this for sure. You know, just obviously game 1 didn't go our way, and it's good to see that kind of composure.
It was like riding a seesaw, like we said. Very back and forth.
We'll get them in the playoffs. But it was good
Oh.
games. 2 arcs improved a lot.
They're
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
They're very good. Makes me very happy because they have worked hard. All right.
That's the fun thing right now. We have 6 teams this year, or not this year, this season, that will be fighting for that top 4 spot for playoffs. That are like clearly like competing. We got
would say so.
Shot and the Bulls have been proving themselves lately. Vortex wasn't in it last year. So last year it was clear who the top 4 teams were that are going to make it. But this
Last
year,
year, man.
last season, we had only 4 teams. This team, we have the addition of Vortex and Shot.
I think that Murlocs were making a case for that.
They fell
were.
apart right like
When-
2-3
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah. But
Yeah.
there was up until the very last week, there was that one match between the 2 of them, Murlocs and I think it was Maelstrom.
It
So
came
I
down to the
realized that there were roster changes. Yeah, I get that. But like, there was at least 5 teams last season.
Yeah, I'd
that were
agree.
looking to get that spot.
last.
6 this year. Which
Jared.
4 will it be,
It's-
Corey?
I'm not saying. I know. I don't know.
There's a lot of
I'll say it.
potential in the teams right now.
I think the only like 100% guarantee right now would be Maelstrom.
Well, they're 3-0 or 4.
As long as we
Great.
don't pull any more sanctifications, I think we're pretty clear for the finals too. But
Okay.
we'll see if we
We'll
do,
take
we'll
That's
see if we can do more dumb stuff.
it's a bold statement there.
Bold strategy.
Bold strategy
Keep the
there,
fans
Kyle.
out for them.
I want to just.
But it's cool. It's just competition in NA is like heating up for the top spots, and teams are starting to question themselves and stuff. It's really cool to see.
Are you starting to question yourself?
No, we're still god tier. Don't worry about that, man.
So Maelstrom has not played their games yet this week. Complexity has not played their games. I believe it's Maelstrom, Complexity, Shot in the Bullets, and Taquitos that have to play.
Yes.
So yeah, look at these results.
What are the games?
I love the
tomorrow?
way the seedings were set up for the games as well. Like Matt set it up to where I think I don't know if it was actually he set it up that way, but it turned out to fact that we play 2 arc next, then we play Complexity, then we play Maelstrom. They set it up to where
You have a gauntlet.
just the hype for these last 3 weeks of the season are super intense.
So you're already potentially in 3rd place, and you have some 3 really tough games ahead of you. Man.
No, we have 1 tough game.
Oh.
Whoa!
Oh.
All right. we'll see what your record stands at afterwards.
That bold statement just got bolder. Dang.
Alright,
so-
Jake.
Fact. All right.
what are the games tomorrow for ESL? I know you listed the teams, but I don't think you listed who's actually playing who.
Getting there. Gonna show it off the
There
stream.
he says it's Complexity versus Shot in the Bullets and Cloud9 versus Rising Taquitos.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Well, everything else on the screen is spoilers. Okay.
Interesting.
Jared, why don't you take us away into our next segment?
Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Supposed to be on point
It's
with this.
Time. Well, you didn't tell me you were. Kubi's questions. Fan dance.
All right. I want you, Jared, go look at the Reddit thread. What is the last thing on the agenda?
Half the time it's there and we don't do it.
I
So.
upvote that thing and move on, man. I don't have time.
What?
Wow, are you trying to turn me into Richard Lewis over here? You can't just say you upvote things and move away.
I just,
You have to actually
well,
read the content, see if it's good for Reddit.
have an upvote. Move
God.
along.
That's some kind of messed up. All right,
10 kinds of messed up.
we talked about two good lengths last week about the NA scene lagging a little bit. I think a lot of us can agree that the top teams in NA are doing well right now, but then after that, even Jared was so bold as to make the claim, what was it? Out of the top 30 teams, only 7 were NA, at least on Stormcraft,
Yeah.
in that ranking system. So we talked a good bit about
That's
that last
not
week.
a terrible ratio.
It's
Less than
should
1 for
be-
3?
Positivity.
Get out of here with your positivity.
Aim lower. All right. Anyway, moving on. So I was actually going to talk about this last week, but still fits now. I like this question. Let's see. I want to propose a challenge to each of you guys, and that is you have 2 weeks to prepare a team, a fresh team, to beat Cloud9 Maelstrom in a 2 out of 3.
No.
Okay? You have 2 weeks. I want to know what it is. Now, try to keep. I realize that you guys have some affiliations.
This is supposed to be Kubi's questions, not Kubi's homework.
Jake, it's a hypothetical. Relax.
Thank
Okay.
We're
God.
not actually
Thank
taking
God.
2 weeks, Jake.
Okay.
What?
All right, keep going then.
Relax. Okay. All right. So I want to just emphasize you guys' opinion on how you feel teams should develop. Obviously, you know, when you're proposing things to teams that you have affiliations with, yes, there's some group conjecture and arguments to go back and forth. I want to hear you guys' opinion on what the best way to train and develop a team to take out Maelstrom in a 2 out of 3. Now, I picked Maelstrom just because I think a lot of us will agree they are the #1 team right now. Do you guys shoot for some kind of cheese strategy? What does that involve? Take me through a map. Like, what maps do you try to aim to play on? How do you attempt to get this edge over the teams? And Jake, because of your insolence, you're going first.
I mean, obviously you've got to study their VODs, and you've got to look for what they're used to doing. And that's the base thing you can say, right? But you're saying I have to craft a team, find 4 other nerds.
No. Yeah, well, I'm not saying you need to name names right now, but like someone says, hey, I will give you $30,000 if you can somehow craft a team within 2 weeks to beat Maelstrom. What do?
I go to Asia. GG.
No, I need a real answer from you.
That is really.
This is a tough one, Kubi. Like, this isn't something you can just.
This is a really weird question.
Yeah, it's like.
I know it's weird.
It's so
Hey,
abstract.
Kevin, you were yelling at me like 3 weeks in a row, like, we already answered this question. Here's a different one. All right, Kev.
Like-
Because of your insolence, you now have to answer.
Go, Kevin!
I think.
No, that's wrong. Think again.
Okay. I know
Good. I like
Jared is a jerk. The interesting thing is that you have to consider, of course, the first and foremost is your team is whether or not you actually have the cohesion or not. If you don't have a team cohesion at all, then you spend those next 2 weeks getting the cohesion of your team and getting the ability to have that synergy, to be able to trust in each other and all that. That's literally like first step. You can't get that, you're dunzos. You're out of here, kid. Past that, strategy-wise, if you have an actual team, say it's, you know, somewhat on their level, you know, if it's, you know, a little below their level, like Tempo Storm maybe, you start looking at
No reaction.
no reaction. Okay. I think the biggest thing is you need to just look at strategies and I think a lot of teams like to snipe away things that the enemy team likes to use a lot. And I know Fan was talking about this when he was talking about ASU. He's like, we studied ASU, we studied what these teams do and everything, and we looked for things. Wow, I have this weird vein sticking out my neck. We study what the teams do, and sorry, I'm just noticing things. We study what the teams do, and we try to build a strategy around taking away things from them. But I think it's a little shallow to think about taking things away from their team and more securing what you want for your team, and thinking in more so a way to get something that most people wouldn't consider. I mean, there's both strategies. This is why, like in StarCraft, I was more of the do something different more so than do something solid. And when you do something solid, you're gonna always be able to know how to react because you've seen everything like a billion times. But if I'm gonna go for a way to beat somebody once, I'm going for something different.
Tell
I'm
me
going
being
for something like
Tell me being
That's
solid
why
is
he was
inadequate.
really good.
four specialists and a support or something.
All right.
Okay, this is why Kevin's not a coach of the team.
Yeah, I'm not
Hey.
a coach for a team. If I have to be, I'm saying for just one best of three.
That's
If
all
I
the requirement is.
one
It's
best of
one
three.
best of three.
There's
Okay.
no way I'm going to be able to take C9 Maelstrom out of their element by trying to snipe out their builds
So cheese
or something.
boys.
Okay. All right, I like that. We'll get back to that, Fan. I want to hear your thoughts, but the requirement is you do have to put aviators on while you answer.
All right. Hang on 1 sec.
Yes. All right, good enough. I like it.
All right. So actually, I think my answer would it would basically be Jake's answer, go to China, but I want to elaborate a little bit more on that. So like, unlike what Sham 2's been saying, and unlike where you have to like really focus on the strategy aspect of things, like I would approach it the same way I approached Heroes of the Dorm, right? We didn't go for strategy. We went for fundamentals better than anyone else. And like this might be like a bit like, I don't know, my own opinion or controversial, but as far as I see the scene right now, like Maelstrom wins because their players are fundamentally player for player more solid than any other team. And another way to say that in like a really bad way is that they have the least amount of weak links in their team compared to any other team in North America, in my opinion. So here's the thing, like, if that's the case, and that is the case from what I see, if I can get a team with no weak links whatsoever, completely solid mechanics, I think that, they would be able to win in a best of 3. Because as far as like I can tell, like when Maelstrom tries for these super weird, cheesy strats, like they lose. Like they don't pull off amazing strats to win. They pull off like just consistent, solid gameplay. Most of their players have very solid understanding of the gameplay, of gameplay knowledge, and most of their players have very solid mechanics. So yeah, I would say I would go to China because of that reason.
Okay.
Ben, I want to stop you right there just because you said much
No,
different.
you don't want to
what
stop
I
him
meant-
there. He
wait,
already
wait,
stopped. He already stopped on his
Sorry.
own, though.
Yeah, he's done. Took the shades off.
I thought you were saying.
No, there was no stopping him right there. He was done.
I think I didn't really illustrate my point perfectly. Was that I was trying to say like I don't think it's a good way to go against Maelstrom. That's what I was actually trying to say. Was like Maelstrom is just so fundamentally solid. I don't think there's a way for me to find a weak point in trying to snipe out their strategies because I know Maelstrom they can just rotate around that. So that's what I was saying. I was like I'd rather go for a strategy that no one's preparing for or something like that. Maybe something from China. Who knows?
I just
Because
know that.
that's what I meant to say. I guess I did it poorly.
What's our budget?
5.
$30,000.
It's plenty to fly 5 Chinese guys over for a weekend. It's plenty.
4 Chinese guys and me.
Oh,
Whoa! All right. Whoa! All right, Jared.
Yeah, we don't
It's
want it to
your
be
time.
too unfair. Gotta
Step
that like
up
you
to
know,
the. You got
gotta throw a
your
little bit of
soapbox.
weight on that. Maelstrom, they're good, but they're not like some untouchable gods at the game, But a problem that we've personally made is thinking that they have like these comfort picks that if we take it away from them, they'll play worse, which is not true. They are all very good at the game, and they are all. I hate agreeing with Kevin so goddamn much.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't take something away from them and expect them to be worse players. We've made that mistake in drafting, and it's hurt us. It's crippled us. They're going to play well no matter what here's on. So you just go in with the idea of drafting to your own strengths and playing to your own strengths. They are they do have flaws. They're not a perfect team, clearly. And sure, some of them will be exploitable, but it's not going to be easy. Because like Fan said, they're all mechanically skilled players. They're not going to get tripped up by some little silly drafting thing. So just go in with a mindset of drafting to your best and playing to your advantages rather than trying to take advantage of their flaws, because that is a much harder thing to do.
So I tell you that you're going to get $30,000 to win a 2 out of 3 versus Maelstrom, and the best advice you can hand out to 5 people is to say, play to your strengths, buddy.
Yeah.
That's it.
What do you want from me, man?
I need something, Jared. Come
You
on.
asked a dumb question. What do you
It's
want?
not a dumb question.
It is a
You don't know
very
how to answer
open-ended
it.
question.
That's your problem.
Hey, there's some good suggestions in the chat. Pay Cloud9 $30,000 to throw. There's a lot of good options.
That doesn't solve anything.
Yeah, you get first
All right,
place.
listen
Win the
here,
series.
savior.
Hold on. Kevin gave a good answer. Give a cheeky strategy. You can flesh out a little bit more. Grab players from a different region. I like that. Jared, just pick to your strengths, man. That's it.
Well, first of all, winning with a goofy strategy, Kevin, that's not ever going to happen. You're not going to be able to bust out 4 specials in a support and beat Maelstrom.
For what in a support?
I don't give a shit what fan says. China sucks. So you can fly 5 Chinese players over all you want. They're going to get wrecked by Maelstrom. So play to your best, because they are beatable. We've seen that before. So play to your strengths.
Be a man.
We've never been 3-0'd by them. We've taken games off them.
We've never been through.
Okay.
We haven't been completely stumped by them.
And Ding It Invitational was what, like a month and a half ago?
You beat them there.
We beat them there, and then the same night beat them in Kings. So they're not just
people saw
like they're on fire right now, yes, and they are untouchable. But they're not some gods to like I need to be bowing down to and doing things. I'm having trouble
I don't think anyone said that.
being PG here, but
I don't think anyone said that they were like these unstoppable team or anything to that effect.
we don't need to like go to extremes to fly in a Chinese roster out of nowhere to beat Maelstrom.
Jared, I've got
The whole point of
$30,000 to spend.
Yeah,
I want
the
it to be
whole point of
quick
that.
and easy.
Is that
You know-
like believe it or not, like there's honestly the NA scene is not big enough to have like
You know what, I'm
Maelstrom
gonna, like,
has most of
record
the
a
mechanical
video.
players. That's just it. You need
Yeah.
to find mechanical players from somewhere else right now.
I'm gonna go spend some of that $30,000, buy an iPad, record a video of me saying we need a Heroes of the Storm team, and send it into space. Hope some damn aliens find it so they can come compete in this best of 3. Because that's just as realistic as this shit you guys are spewing. Like, what the hell, man? I don't know what you guys want from this conversation outside of like a real answer, guys.
Thanks, Jared. Thank you. That's good.
What do you guys
So,
want, man?
Fun fact:
I
all you have
never
to do
know.
is just poke Jared a little bit, tell him his answer is bad, and he will go off for 5 minutes straight.
I don't know what you guys want, man.
Oh, I love
That's
that
excellent.
quote. Basically, only aliens can beat Maelstrom. Soya 2015. Thank you, Lay Waste, this guy.
I'm
Oh my
some
God.
super hyper intelligent video game micro machine aliens could do a better job than 5 random Chinese players. Like,
I didn't say random. I meant like top players. Anyways,
No, that's good. That's great. I had like a nice follow-up question. I think we're just gonna cut it off there. That's good. That's some good stuff.
All right, wrap it up.
Wrap it up, boys.
well, Zoloff, why don't you shout out your alien friends that you're soon gonna meet?
Shout out to Zolthor.
Zolthor.
That's it, Zoltan.
Shout out to Tempo Storm, my team. I'm moving into the house. The official date is May 9th. I will be in the house all set up and doing stuff from there. There are a lot of big tournaments on the rise. So keep an eye out for those announcements. Like WCA was kind of teased today. That tournament is going to be so hype once the tournament gets once the scene gets the full grasp of that tournament. There's also other ones that haven't been announced yet and stuff that are really cool. Arthlon just released a video today talking about player exposure. We wanted to talk about that. We'll try talking about it next week or something, but it's a really good video. It's on Reddit right now. Glaurung also released a video this week talking about late game comebacks and how to regain your composure and what to look for to secure a win when you've been behind the whole time. It's a really good video as well. That's it.
Where can we find that?
I still don't have I had to put in a request to get an official channel, so it's still like youtube.com.
Do you not have enough subs yet? Because we can get you more subs.
We have enough subs. We have plenty
right.
of subs. I've put in the request to get the name change, but I will link it in chat in a moment.
Well, you could say it on air too, so people can at least.
Yeah, but it's like youtube.com/YCR. There's no like official.
Yeah, no.
Oh, there's no official.
I'll go ahead and say youtube.com/channel/UCS9_VN2PPTUYB2. Are you happy, Kevin? You happy?
You said
I said it on air.
You said say VP.
I said PP. He said PP.
Coopers.
Oh my goodness. Throw that to me. All right. Tomorrow I will be casting ESL NA Major League Season 2 with yourself, Sir Jake.
Yourself.
Yourself, Jake.
Good.
Comma, Jake. That's a sentence. Sure, we'll go with it. That's going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, twitch.tv/ESL_heroes. Possibly casting this Saturday with some people that I know, maybe named Kevin. Not confirmed yet, but there's some likelihood that will be happening. I won't say anything official. We'll tweet that out afterwards if that ends up happening. I think that's it for me.
Kevbev.
Nothing too crazy. Titan Arena videos are all up on youtube.com/sham2schamtoo. Follow me on Twitter. Gotta find new dates for Titan Arena next month. Gonna be a little bit difficult for me given there's the launch on June 1st, as well as I've got some stuff going on at the end of the month there, weddings and bull crap. Shout out to Zoltan for Zoya there.
Zoltan.
Proud of him.
And I think that's about it for me. Follow me on Twitters. That's about it. Yeah, that's good.
Mr.
One and
Fan
only.
You
himself.
can follow me on Twitter at FanHots, and you can find my YouTube channel, Fan Heroes of the Storm, by searching Fan Heroes of the Storm. Put a lot of effort into those videos. I've actually
They're
been
very
told to stop putting so much knowledge into them from my teammates because they were a little too revealing. But yeah, you guys should definitely check those out. But other than that, once again, I want to give another huge shout out to everyone at Temple Storm, both Cloud9s as well as Not a Team, and you guys know who you are for helping us practice so much. We really did appreciate that a lot. And other than that, you can follow everyone at Cloud9 at Cloud9GG, and if you want to follow an individual player, just go at C9, and then you can find their names. And lastly, shout out to our sponsors, G2A, and NVIDIA, HyperX, Logitech, BenQ, HTC, and Alienware.
Nicely done.
That's it for me.
And thank you for coming on, Fan. We do appreciate it quite a bit.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and congrats once again on
Yes, absolutely.
your success this past weekend, getting your tuition covered.
Thank you very much. It was like probably one of the best weekends of my life. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. It was a lot of fun. Lots on the horizon. Guys, the final thing that I'm going to say is we do, in fact, have those shirts. So I can't stress enough as to how much it actually does support us if you guys buy those shirts. We set a goal of 40. We are currently, actually, let me just pull up the website. Oh, production things. I know it's here somewhere. I closed the tab. I'm a bad person.
We're at 14.
We have 14 shirts sold at this point in time. Our goal is 40. They're $20, but again, a portion of that money goes towards a prize pool. Actually,
it does.
all of the proceeds that we make will be going into a prize pool for an event that will be hosted for the community. We want to see, I mean, there's not a lot of sponsors in Heroes yet, but we want to see if we can actually crowdfund an event, because it's something that hasn't been tried to do, and I've seen a lot of success in the Warcraft community, right? The World of Warcraft 3v3 community, Global Cooldown, they actually crowdfund all of their events, and they've been getting big, like $500 prize pool. So it's like, wow, that'd be a cool thing for our teams. We want more opportunity for the players, more or less. That's what we're
Not
doing.
only do you get to crowdfund a tournament, you get a legendary T-shirt.
Oh, it's so purple.
Legendary.
It's so nice. It comes in.
Yo, there's V-necks?
Kev's excited. You should be excited.
Let's look at those.
Yo, click the V-neck. Do it. Do it.
Canvas. The color's wrong, but it's okay. Hanes women, if you're a lady, you can be,
If you're a lady.
If you're a lady?
or just a really dainty person.
Hey.
Kevin.
Hey. Hey. Watch it, mister.
Watch it.
All right, guys. Well, I think just my final shoutouts are thank you, you beautiful nerds, for this. It's good to be home. It's good to be doing stuff with Heroes. I'm excited to see our game finally going towards launch. It'll be there very soon. May 19th, if you did not know, is in fact open beta. June 2nd is the official launch of the game. Tell your friends. And if you really need a beta key, harass us on Twitter, and we could probably give you one.
The powers
So.
that be.
Kevin.
What?
And that
What?
that face was
Kevin.
a little preemptive. What? Do you have a point, Jared? Or are you just saying
No.
Kevin?
No.
On that note, guys, fan, once again, thank you. And we will see you next time in Town Hall.
That's it for Town Hall episode.